The WWE title has both changed a lot over the years, but also not that much at all. That sounds like my brain is shutting down, but it's sort of true. The list of individuals who have held it isn't huge, but within that there's so many mad moments, your memory can't keep hold of it all. Otherwise you explode. Nobody wants that. Think of your poor mother. So let us walk on the dangerous side of life, for I am Simon Miller. This is 10 WWE title moments you totally don't remember. Unless you do, well done. Number 10, Edge steps in for The Undertaker. Rebellion 2002. I was at this show and even I can't tell you what was meant to happen. The whole thing was nuts. It was one of those weird UK pay-per-views that WWE did at the turn of the century. There are conflicting reports here, because some said The Undertaker was going to wrestle Matt Hardy. Then all of a sudden Booker T stepped in, whereas others claimed the dead man was due to face Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman in a handicap fight. That's such a disparity, I don't even know what's happening. Now the dead man was feuding with Brock at the time, so I lean in that direction, but at the last minute it didn't matter, because Edge was substituted in instead. This was not the rated R superstar we know and love today, though. Edge at this point wasn't a major star, so doing this did run the risk of frustrating the fan base. Taker was a made man. The championship was on the line too, but come on now. I told you I was there, and these UK pay-per-views were just doled up house shows. They were fun, but no belts were going to change hands. I don't even think Vince McMahon knew what was going on. Of course, Lesnar won before ultimately dropping the gold to Big Show when Heyman turned his back on the Beast later in the year. That's because 2002 was a wild, wild time. Number 9, Ricochet is squashed. You probably do remember this instantly when it is brought up, but it was over and done with so fast. Why would you leave it in your brain? You've had bathroom excursions longer than this. It was February 2002, however, and the WWE were headed to Saudi Arabia. You know the deal back then. These events were glorified house shows, which sort of sounds familiar. As Ricochet had helped Drew McIntyre eliminate Brock Lesnar from the Royal Rumble, WWE thought this would be a terrific match, and they were right. Brock always had great contests against smaller dudes. Rick would fit right into that mold. Of course, somebody then woke up that morning and decided, nah, we don't need to do that. And in 90 seconds, Ricochet had been killed. Him and Kofi Kingston should be furious about this forever. Ricky was beaten with one F5 too, just in case you wanted to pretend that WWE cared. And you wonder why he left for AEW. Number 8, Keith Lee makes a challenge. It is fair to say Keith Lee's WWE run peaked in NXT, but he still had some moments on the main roster. Sort of felt like the rest of the locker room wanted to work with him. The remembered moments are the face-off with Roman Reigns at the 2019 Survivor Series and the barking with Brock at the Rumble, but something bigger happened on the 4th of January 2021. Lee was in the main event of Raw. He was going after Drew McIntyre's WWE title. They got a whopping 20 minutes, which was one of the benefits of the stupid Thunderdome, and it was good. Doesn't get talked about enough. This is when Drew was just having bangers as well with the likes of Sheamus and Gunther, so I think Keith deserves his due too. If we haven't called him Bearcat, maybe we'd be telling a different story these days. More importantly, I just hope health-wise Lee is doing alright. Number 7, Lawler gets a shot. In 2011. That's right. This was also a month before WrestleMania 27. The whole thing is totally bonkers, because if we look at it from a story point of view, WWE was telling us that the King could headline the show of shows against John Cena. That was the match world champion The Miz had lined up, so if he lost here, yeah, done, over. Lawler even gets the craziest near fall after the fist off the top rope because The Miz has to use the rope to stay in this thing. And do not forget, this was happening because Jerry and Michael Cole were feuding. It's totally nuts. Lawler also won a Battle Royal to qualify for this opportunity, so it wasn't a fluke. Just don't watch his and Cole's match at WrestleMania because my gosh, it'll make you want to cry. It's been over a decade, and I still don't know what the hell we were doing. Just dope. Number 6, X-Pac's Overseas Challenge. Let us go back to these mad early 2000 pay-per-views. I just want you to see how unhinged they were. This time it is Capital Carnage 1998, which was the first WWE event I ever attended, and yeah, Vinnie Jones was on this show. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. And if you do, well, yeah. You also had X-Pac going after the WWF title, and man, he was facing The Rock. That may sound nuts, but this is when D-Generation X were the hottest thing going, and yeah, because this was just for fun, why not throw these two together? It lacked jeopardy, but I think that was the point. The whole thing was bizarre as The Rock talked about receiving a corporate email to learn about all this, but I tell you, it was really, really good. Can't argue with the match quality, and it's not a surprise really. Sean Waltman was always one of the best. Number 5, Zack Ryder gets his shot. You really have to be a super WWE nerd to remember this. I've lost my credentials in that regard because I don't. It was the 23rd of August 2010 Raw, though, when then-champion Sheamus chose Zack Ryder as his opponent because he deserved it. And that wasn't true. This wasn't the Irishman being nice. He just didn't want to defend the gold of the Night of Champions pay-per-view. Jump forward 12 months and Ryder should have been in this position anyway after using YouTube to make all the noise. But clearly management disagreed then, and they disagreed here. Sheamus bro kicked him right in the face and pinned him in 10 seconds. Great. Sort of shows you why Zack felt the need to get over using social media, because he wasn't going to get anything from hard work. Before all this too, the commentary team even laughed that he could win a championship. I'm just gonna sum that up for you, my friends. That was really stupid. Number 4, Brian Kendrick does the unthinkable. This one is sort of famous as we still need to know how this stipulation works. What do the record books say? But in Unforgiven 2008, WWE booked a scramble match for the world title, meaning it could technically change hands mid-fight. Therefore, at one point, that belt went from Triple H to Jeff Hardy to Brian Kendrick to Triple H to Jeff Hardy to Triple H to Hardy to Triple H. Something like that. This was because people were being pinned constantly, including poor MVP who did not have his best night. But yeah, this is 7 changes in one match, and I suppose means Brian Kendrick is a former WWE champion. I mean, he even got the lower third graphic. It is mad because Brian was also pinned 4 times during this, so who knows what the deal is. Fans were hoping it was going to be a launching pad to the next level, and I just think it was Vince McMahon doing something bonkers, because he liked doing something bonkers. There's a reason we really didn't do this again. Number 3, Seth Rollins is saved by a foot. Now, we did talk about this a lot at the time. I think we should bring that back. It was the 3rd of August 2015 Raw, which saw Seth Rollins defend his WWE title against Pac of all people. He was Neville then. The idea was Seth just wanted to show off. He had become an asshole. Instead, we got one of the best matches on Raw in ages, and my gosh, the back and forth of this. How anyone backstage didn't click they should push Pac instantly, I don't know. The man is and was amazing. The highlight of the night was after he had hit the red arrow, and my gosh, he had Seth pinned for the 3. Fans couldn't believe it, but Neville was too overzealous with his cover. He pulled Rollins' leg to such a degree his foot draped on the rope. The referee had to stop the count. That was just brilliant. Pac sold this wonderfully as well and even managed to survive falling into stereotypical shock face territory. That's because the man is just so good. Both guys deserve all the credit for the execution of this because it really is perfect. There's some workers in there, brother. This match ruled. Number 2, the Giant title. Forget the Crown Jewel belt that was introduced in 2024 and check out this ham hock instead. That is a special WWF championship that was designed for none other than Andre the Giant. It was custom made for the man as we did build to WrestleMania 3. The company started showing this off on Primetime Wrestling with Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon. The Brain looked at this thing like he was about to be attacked. We never saw the title again because it was just a promotional tool mostly, and of course Andre didn't win. It does count as a moment though, and yet the WWF barely ever spoke about it after. Maybe they wanted to hide the fact their greatest attraction had been defeated. This was introduced though to make you believe that Hulkamania could have been killed, which is why someone had gone out there and made a giant championship. Well, I actually think that's quite smart, all things considered. No stone had been left unturned. Number 1, the fabulous Mule versus the Big Show. Do not tell me that wrestling nonsense is a new thing, because it's not. For back on the 28th of November 2002 SmackDown, WWE teased we were going to do the Big Show versus Mule. Yep. GM Stephanie McMahon had suspended Brock Lesnar but told Show he still had to defend his WWE title against a decorated competitor. The Fabulous One did fit that bill, so why the flub not? Now, this is actually hilarious, because as Muna is walking to the ring, she's all high fives and energy, and then bam! As soon as the bell rings, she crumbles. What the hell happened, man? It's almost as if nobody told her who she was actually facing. Paul Heyman, who was stood by the Big Show, was laughing his ass off too. And of course, before this started, Lesnar was here to instigate a brawl. It was so ridiculous. I don't think he was actually here to help the former women's champion either. He was just really pissed off. You can go watch this right now and know you didn't do drugs. WWE really did it. Know of any other mad WWE title moments we do not remember as a collective? Then make sure you let us know in the comments below. Before you like the video, share the video, and subscribe. You can also get more WWE trivia into your brain by clicking the video on the screen right now. But otherwise, my friends, I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will talk to you again soon.